Well, town leaders have been anticipating a budget shortfall for some time now, even bringing it up at the annual town meeting last year. Costs for town services are simply rising beyond what tax revenue can cover. Things like town employee pension and healthcare costs, and the ongoing increase in school enrollment. The Budget and Revenue Task Force met February 26 to look at ways to address the financial shortfall. All of them involve a property tax increase beyond the 2.5% maximum allowed without voter approval. Combined with an expected high school debt exclusion, Arlington taxpayers could be in for a total 15% hike on their property taxes. Leaders from various boards in town are not taking the options lightly. The town manager's office has proposed several different scenarios for the task force to consider. The possibilities ranging for an override to last between 3 to 5 years before another one would be needed, and weigh instituting an override for beginning financial year 2020 as opposed to 2021. Estimates show significant savings by asking for an override a year earlier. And it would come at the same time as voters would be asked to fund a new high school, likely adding around 5% to homeowners' tax burden alone. Task force members stressed they want to be clear about what an override would fund, particularly when it comes to schools. They also debated what taxpayers want and how much they're willing to pay for it.
So we're talking about a basket of revenue and a basket of services, and you can construct different baskets, then you talk to the voters about which ones you want. How do we go about deciding what the promises we want to make to voters with this 2019 tax override?
One of the things that we've been talking about on the school committee for a long time, and I feel like this really makes that happen, is that we really owe it to everybody to go home and do the work that says, this is how much money we need. Instead of playing this, here's 6% more, how's that this year? And every year we have the discussion about how it's still not enough money. And we kind of do this because that's always the way we've done it, right?
At the school committee, we're starting to get parents coming in with pitchforks, not about maintaining status quo. That's not good enough for them. They want to know what we are going to do to improve services, improve the quality, reduce class size, to provide more services for their children. So that is a drastic change from a large demographic group who bought expensive houses with the expectation that the value of the services and schools that are associated with them will improve.
And I was suggesting that 10% is an upper limit on this conceptual override. If we have the override and the school in the same, and the debt exclusion for the school in the same year, that's going to be roughly a 15% tax increase. That's a big number. That's probably bigger than any other city or town has had in eastern Massachusetts in the last 10 years. So I think we should think long and hard about how much we're willing to push the voters on this issue.
The Budget Task Force expects to make a decision on an override proposal by later this year. An actual ballot vote would then have to be approved by the Board of Selectmen before going to voters in either 2019 or 2020. Well, the Arlington High School building project continues to move forward through the Massachusetts School Buildings Association's timeline. Currently in the feasibility phase, the building committee and planners are looking at all the possible options: a complete rebuild, a renovation, and even moving the school to a new site. 2 community forums have attracted over 100 residents each. The first giving attendees the opportunity to discuss the vision for a new school building. And at the second forum, the focus was on creating an educational vision for students within the new space. On Monday, March 5th, interested residents are invited to walk the halls of Arlington High School and see for themselves how the multiple additions and renovations over the years have created a labyrinth of sorts throughout the corridors and stairways for students and teachers to navigate. The tours will meet in the foyer of the high school's main entrance at 7 o'clock at night. A Q&A session with AHS Principal Matthew Janger and Superintendent Kathleen Bodie will follow the tour. You're then invited to take part in an interactive discussion about trends in school design and possible design ideas for the new high school. The next forum after that will come in later in April. And you can learn more about the project by visiting ahsbuilding.org or check out acmi.tv/news for earlier reports we've done on this story.